What's up? What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Live on iCkEdMeL clips. I'm going to launch on the other pages. And we're just going to hang out for a little bit and talk about the Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, and Tim Pool debacle drama. The right wing is falling apart. It's over. Game over. Let me launch Rumble and all these other platforms. We're going to jump into this right here in a second. Should be starting. I want to test something out too. We're testing out Comcast again. Hopefully it's smooth midday, or that's usually when the problems start. And also I'm going to do a little bit of Grok chatting. We're going to test out Grok. Oh my God. So let me try here first. Let's see what explanation she has. Where's she at over here? Did I lose her? Oh, okay. Let's see. Hello.
Yeah, still here.
Hey, can you explain to me the whole drama and debacle surrounding Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, and Tim Pool around Charlie Kirk's death and the conspiracies that Owens has been saying? The timeline, the breakdown, the history.
All right, buckle up. This right-wing circus kicked off back in September when Charlie Kirk, the big Turning Point USA guy, got assassinated on September 10th. Gunmen took him out in broad daylight, and boom, the MAGA world's imploding with theories. Candace Owens jumps in first, screaming it's an inside job tied to Israel. She's got this wild thread. Kirk was negotiating some secret millions from Netanyahu that fell through, so Mossad, or whoever, iced him, set him up. She teases receipts like a letter from Kirk to Bibi, but weeks drag on and nada. She's holding it behind her paywall, milking the drama. Yeah, she's even finger-pointing at the Secret Service for botching security, calling it all a deep state hit. Nick Fuentes piles on quick. He's been beefing with Owens for months over her Zionist vibes, but now he's all in on the conspiracy, live streaming rants about Jewish cabals and how Kirk was too based for the elites. Tim Pool, he's the wild card, sniffing opportunity. He hosts this marathon pod with Fuentes right after the hit, stirring the pot on globalist plots while dodging Owens like the plague, because she's clowned him before for being a grifter. History-wise, it all traces to that old Groyper War, Fuentes versus Owens back in 2022 when she called him out for white nationalism, and Pool's just been orbiting, trading shots with both for clicks. Timeline peaks mid-October when Owens drops that half-baked evidence audio that's mostly static and vibes, sparking death threats and Turning Point suing her for defamation. Total mess, right? Who's your pick for most unhinged?
Hold on. This bitch is crazy. I would say Candace Owens. She crazy.
Huh, can't argue that. She's out here dropping bombshells like confetti and then ghosting on the proof. Fuentes is a close second, though, with his endless troll fests. What's the wildest theory you've heard from her?
Explain to me the assassination. She said that the French President Emmanuel and the wife, she's claiming she's a transgender, based on AI facial recognition, funded her assassination. So she said they're trying to assassinate her. Then there was some shit about what was about the Egyptian planes tracking Charlie Kirk's wife. What's that?
Oh man, Owens is deep in the weeds on this one. She's basically turned her show into a full-on spy thriller. So, the Macron bit, she's been hammering this since summer, claiming Brigitte Macron's not a woman, but a dude, who transitioned back in the day, all proven by some dodgy AI facial scans and old photos she twists into evidence. Fast forward to late November, she's sued for defamation by the Macrons themselves. They're calling it a grotesque humiliation campaign. In retaliation, Owens flips the script, posting this wild thread saying the French prez and his trans wife hired an assassination squad, like actual hitmen with sniper rifles, to take her out in the US. No proof, Just vibes in a blurry pic of some suspicious maroon-berated paratroopers she swears are French agents tailing her. It's gone viral, 43 million views, but everyone's clowning her for it. 0 receipts, just more paywall teasers. Now, the Egyptian planes, that's her latest Kirk bombshell from mid-November. She gets this confidential tip from a supposed Fed agent, some leaked flight logs showing 2 Egyptian military jets buzzing around Provo, Utah, back in 2021 to 22. At first, she says they were stalking Charlie himself, tying it to some Mossad Egyptian. Then she pivots hard on her show, claiming those jets were actually dogging Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, because she supposedly got some shady Egyptian ties from her Mormon mission days or whatever. Owens spins it as proof the whole Kirk hit was a global op, Macron's crew funding it, Egypt providing air support, Israel pulling strings, all while she's dodging subpoenas from the Macron's lawyers. It's peak unhinged. Candace is basically scripting her own Bourne movie. You buying any of this, or just popcorn time?
And so, and she said the TPUSA, didn't she allude that they're behind it, his murder and stuff like that? I'm trying to keep up with her ass.
Yeah, keeping up with Candace's plot twists is like chasing a caffeinated squirrel. On TPUSA, she's been straight savage, dropping hints since day one, after the hit that Turning Point insiders were in on it, maybe even greenlighting the whole thing, to cover up Kirk's betrayal on Israel funding or whatever her latest spin is. Like, she's accused their security team of straight-up staging lapses, calling it a sacrificial lamb job to silence his awakening. TPUSA clapped back hard this week, inviting her to a live showdown to air it out, and she actually bit, said yes, but you know it'll be fireworks. Total Family Feud vibes. What's your bet on if she shows?
So they're saying she backed out. Explain that. How she backed out of this debate?
Yeah, it's a total scheduling shit show. TPUSA hit her with the debate invite midweek, saying, "Let's go live on our platform, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Charlie's producer Blake Neff versus you, on all this Kirk conspiracy crap." Owens fires back on her show like, "Cool, but only if it's neutral ground, full live stream on both sides, and we pick a mutual date. No way I'm letting you control the clock." They haggle for hours over time zones and formats. She pushes for a weekend slot to hit her audience better, but TPUSA digs in, accusing her of dragging feet because she's scared to get roasted live. By yesterday, she drops this viral clip calling them out for rigging the game, and now they're prepping to roll without her, just Neff solo debunking her proof. Classic grifter standoff. She didn't straight up bail, but the back and forth killed it. You think?
Okay, all right. So let me play this video from Tim Pool snapping yesterday, my reaction, and just give me a second. I have to step away for 1 minute, but I'll play this. Tim Pool snapping.
He says, "Tim, I work in construction and experience the same thing. My coworkers are all in on the Charlie Kirk conspiracies. If the Republicans lose in the midterms, I believe that Candace Owens is wholly responsible. She is one of the biggest podcasts on the right doing everything to go to war with the organization that helped get Trump elected. Turning Point specifically was going out and registering people to vote. Without Charlie, it's in trouble. Turning Point needs to be able to go out and rally young people and register them to vote. And she's doing everything she can to destroy that. And that is going to, I suppose, it's going to rip out the coffers on the right. There is no organization like Turning Point that exists anywhere else that has the resources and the reach. And without Charlie, I'm not sure that they can make it. But I can tell you this, Candace lighting a Molotov and throwing it through the window is not helping. And it's the most demoralizing thing ever. Additionally, all of the fucking cowards on the right who are too scared to say anything about her. Because she tweets at me talking shit or whatever, and then a bunch of people come and flood our chat. I could give a single flying fuck. You can come and you can burn everything I have to the ground, and I will happily live in a van down by the river. I don't care to be number one. I don't need to be number one. What I care about is what is true and what will help this country and what works. And she is a fucking scumbag.
Whoa.
Okay? And she's getting worse every day. And she crossed the line. She continually crosses the line every day, insinuating that Turning Point literally killed the guy who made them all rich. And I hear this in the streets, and at a certain point, I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna lose the midterms. We're gonna lose the midterms, then we're gonna lose in 2028, and it's because she's a piece of shit.
Wow,
because instead of saying, guys, let's come together and figure out how to work together, she says the stupidest, retarded crap. And now everybody's running around divided and broken. For what reason? For literally what reason? Now,
you don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
Guess what? I'm not on the best of terms with Turning Point either. In case you didn't remember, they didn't invite us this year, and it's become a big thing or whatever. I have nothing. I can say I know what they are, I know what they do, and I'm glad they do it. And if we don't get along, so be it. I don't know that they make it without Charlie, whatever. But what is the purpose of intentionally fanning the flames for 3 endless months of just nonstop retard shit?
Wow.
Candace? Holy crap. You know, initially in the beginning, she brought up some interesting things. New photos had emerged, and I said, wow, I even said this.
So the people that say she didn't back out, how do you interpret her not backing out? Maybe we should look at the Twitter conversation. Because she was asking for a time and day. We can do it anywhere. I'll do it tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, okay, December 15th. And she's like, oh, well, I can't go that day. Well, the thing is, they wanted her in person, and I guess she's saying she can't do it in person, so that's it. And so her response, I mean, and you can't be that gullible, seriously, can you? Her response, let me get her response. She said, this is what the people wanted. Let me tell you this. This is what the people wanted. She had said, it's been decided by the public that the best response for this is for my team to live stream your stream and provide commentary. You guys are really seriously sitting there in the chat telling me she didn't back out? Is that why some of her audience is so delusional? She said, since you already picked our regular podcasting time, we look forward to providing your live responses to your once and for all answers. She's been dragging this shit out for not years, feels like years, months. And finally the opportunity arises, and no, she didn't back out. No. What? I take it as she backed out, and she's just going to sit there and provide commentary on her own live stream. But I think too, what I was saying yesterday, I think that if it comes to both of them, jump on a live stream together, and they can both live stream at the same time and have a conversation, and boom, whatever, you know. Your title is a pure lie to start with. I just showed you it's not a lie. You a lie in the chat. You a lie in the chat. You're delusional. That's what's wrong with you, some of you crazy people.
To Andrew Colvett at Turning Point at the beginning of October. Now she's at the point where it is video after video where she's saying it's an inside job. She's saying like, there's a video of the dude, Mikey McCoy, grabbing his phone and making a phone call, and she's acting like that's weird. And then you get this other guy who's claiming that the business is a parking lot. Well, he full well knows businesses can be registered anywhere. To be fair, it's not only just Candace and saying what she's saying. It is all of these people who are like piranhas ripping the right to shreds. And you know what? A lot of cowards on the right being unwilling to say anything about it. Well, this is where we go. The Democrats are trying to find a way back to reality. They published this thing where they said, oh, we've got to, it's called deciding to win. And they said, we have to address kitchen table issues. Like hell, I would ever vote for someone like Elizabeth Warren or Gavin Newsom.
Okay, I think he kind of starts to go out the thing. I think, though, if she's not going to do in person, even though she said anytime, any day, no lawyers, I'll do it tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. They should just do it on a virtual platform then, I guess. I don't know how the moderation would work, but they should at least just go ahead and do it like that.
They could to stop Charlie's rise, breaking bread with them and refusing to have a conversation with me, and that I cared about Charlie. Have you no shame? We're going to find out. You can pick the place, you can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll, okay? I don't care about any of that. I want it to be authentic. Like I said, you can take the money. We can raise money live for this conversation. That is how badly the world is demanding it. So I accept it with whistles and bells.
You see? I mean, I don't know. I understand she has a really big show and bigger, I believe, right? Bigger than TPUSA. She has more concurrent live viewers. I think she has like 100,000 something, 115, 20, 50,000 concurrent viewers at times on a live stream. So she would potentially maybe lose out on, I don't know, money or something, I guess. But this is something she's been driving for months, and all kinds of accusations, and Tom, Dick, and Harry, everybody's involved. Anybody that questions it is involved. Cam Higby now is involved too. And so the opportunity to kind of clear the air, I don't know, is there.
Choosing to have a conversation with me, and you know that I cared about Charlie. Have you no shame? We're going to find out. You can pick the place, you can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll, okay?
You heard Candace Owens say that Turning Point could set the place, right? So Turning Point USA has decided to finally talk about Candace Owens and some of the wild accusations she's thrown against them, people within the organization, even the plan that Charlie had to have Erica take over. There's all kinds of different things that she has said on her podcast, and they were hoping that she would stop, and she didn't. So now they got to say something. So they said that they're going to have a live stream where they're going to address a lot of things that she said. A lot of people were talking about it and demanding it. So finally they decided to.
So, I mean, the thing is, she has said, pick the time, pick the place, and so they picked the time and the place. Thing is, I guess she doesn't want to do in person. TPUSA only wants to do in person, supposedly to avoid easy outs like glitches. Oh, my connection cut or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Supposedly Owens was arguing virtual is feasible. So, I mean, I guess there's like this back and forth.
Do it. And that she was welcome to come. Now, it wasn't a negotiation. They just said she was welcome to come. So Blake announced when it was going to happen on December the 15th. And there's going to be a collection of Charlie's friends. I'm very curious about which friends are going to show up and address those different allegations. Maybe Frank Turk, maybe Josh Hammer, who Candace Owens, accused of like having advanced knowledge or insinuated he had advanced knowledge of Charlie being killed. Maybe Seth Dillon. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people. But it was going to be in Phoenix, in their studio, right before AmFest. And Candace like, kind of weird that you didn't reach out by email or call me. It's not a negotiation. They knew that you'd be on X. Everybody's on X. You're especially on X. Of course, you would see it. It's not about scheduling availability, making things work for you. They gave you a heads up that you could come. It's not about you. She also says that there's a conflict because that's when she schedules her stuff, but she can do it virtual. She also mentioned stuff with her kids. Again, it's 2 weeks out. She can make things work. She does vacation. She has guest hosts. She has a husband somewhere in the ethos, we think. So she can make it work, especially since this has been her nonstop topic for a while now. She has the opportunity to look them in the eye, say her allegations, present her case, and defend her position. And she is putting stipulations when they already set clear boundaries. Candace Owens is a narcissist.
I guess people have different feelings about it. I don't know. I wish she would have accepted in person, but I would even take, like I said, virtual.
Guys, full disclosure, I've never actually sat and watched Candace Owens long form before. I mean, I used to, but not lately, until tonight. And guys, that's a crazy person. Look, I watch Nick Fuentes to make sure that I'm not taking him out of context. I don't need to do that with Candace because of her tweets and her clips. I'm like, that's a crazy person. But I just watched the first half hour of her fucking show because I was curious to see how she would respond to the TPUSA thing. And That's a fucking crazy person. That's not even a fucking, that is an actual mental illness person. And what the fuck? She was like, yeah, did you know that the Egyptian planes that went into Provo the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, one of them we're going to call it the blue plane, and the next one we're going to call it the purple plane. One of them, the fucking Egyptian president was on in 2023, and then there's this guy, and he was on one of the planes the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated. That means that guy knows the Egyptian president. No, it fucking doesn't. That's not what that means at all. It's a military fucking aircraft, and 2 different people were on it 3 fucking years apart. What the fuck is going on? I understand why people watch her now, because there's probably a whole bunch of people who absolutely fucking hate her that screaming at their phone.
No, she has a lot of support. She has a lot of support. People
Turning Point says they're going to do a live stream. They're going to answer all the questions about Charlie Kirk. They invite her to show up. She says, challenge accepted. Name the time, name the place. We don't need to plan it out. Let's just do it. They say, okay, December 15th. She goes, oh, but that's a bad day for me. I can't do it then. Can I Skype in? Can I Zoom? Bitch. We can't. What are we doing here? And I said it on Telegram. You actually just have to admire the audacity. This woman has gone in every single day for 3 months, and she has dragged everybody, and like every country, the wife, the friends, the company, the government, the FBI, Israel, France, Egypt. She's dragged everybody through this, whatever you want to call it, this investigation. It's served up to her on a silver platter. All right, uncle, we give up. We're losing to disinformation and mass hysteria. The open society is failing. Mass psychosis has taken hold over the nation. Fine, we'll do a live stream. We'll justify why we didn't kill our boss, and you can ask us anything you want. Just show up. And she goes, I can't that day. Honestly, what else do you have going on?
I mean, there's just a list of things. The Macron funded her assassination via Kirk's via 150 million black budget French Legion soldiers trained killers. The hell? The Egyptian plane from France landed in Provo September 4th, which that they said wasn't true. The dream, Charlie Kirk appeared to her in a dream saying he was betrayed, and the true culprit soon to be revealed, ties to her Catholic conversion. I mean, all kinds of stuff. The trap door, under the stage, the bodyguard's hand signals, they cue the shooting and everything.
This is your job. You're a YouTuber. She acts like she's a wagey, like, oh, I got to check with my boss. This is your job. This has been your obsession and crusade for 3 months. Literally, what could you have going on? And I see some people already defending. They say, well, you'd understand if you had kids. It's Christmas time. Okay, I think you get a special dispensation. First of all, it's the 15th. People are working and going to school right up until Christmas Eve sometimes. It's 10 days before Christmas, okay? Second of all, I think her family would understand. Her whole family's dragged. I think her family would understand. Maybe we could reschedule the family Christmas party to the 17th, the 19th. Go and do what you got to do. People will defend anything, I guess. But then it gets better. She says, well, I'm not going to go to Phoenix in person. I'll live stream their live stream.
Yeah, bro.
So you're too busy to go in person, but you're not busy enough to live stream the event from your house? Does that even make sense to anybody? You can't cancel your show talking about Charlie Kirk's death to go to Turning Point to ask them about Charlie Kirk's death.
I mean, yeah, this would have been like the opportunity for her face to face. You know, the way I've interpreted it, she's accused TPUSA's involvement in his death. And she says that's her really close friend and she's going to defend him. And so to have the opportunity to go in person and not do it.
Because you're too busy doing your show. This is why crazy bitches, they make the whole world crazy. They make you sound crazy. They make you go crazy.
That's true. You just don't tell people. That's why I try not to even really engage with them too much, because they just drive you into their craziness, and you get caught up trying to explain their shit and all. So let them be in that shit. If they want to be in that, let them be in it. She also got really upset about this, Candace. She got really upset. So I guess she's having problems. I don't know if it's really problems, but I guess she called out Cam Higbee. I mean, it was a little funny, but he says that he's losing subscribers, and I guess part of it's because of this. And so on Wednesday, Pentagon Press Secretary Kingsley Wilson responded to questions about Owens' November 22nd claim that French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife approved her killing through elite forces for $1.5 million involving a French assassination and Israeli operative. I guess it wouldn't have been a good idea to sue Candace, because that could be, I don't know, this doesn't make any sense to me, but why would they sue her if they're going to kill her? Owens linked it to Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk September's death on stage, saying she provided U.S. agencies with names and bank details. No evidence has surfaced to back the allegations, which French officials call baseless conspiracy theories amid their defamation suit against Owens. Wilson called it an interesting question and pledged check further.
Absolutely. I'm Kingsley Wilson. I'm the press secretary here at the Pentagon. We're in the Pentagon briefing room, and it's been fantastic. Get to come to the Pentagon every day, and now you all do it as well.
Yeah. So this is my first question, and don't laugh. Does the DOW have any evidence at all of a French military plot to assassinate Candace Owens?
That is an interesting question. Not that I'm aware of, but, interesting question. I can try to find out and maybe let you know. I think that might be more of a law enforcement matter, though. Absolutely.
So, I mean, she's saying she doesn't know about anything about that. Cinema over here, I guess he's been talking about it too. Cinema said Owens just got cooked. Pentagon press secretary says they're not aware of any French assassination plot against her. She laughs at how ridiculous it is. Candace Owens offers proof of international plot to take her out. Let's see what proof she has.
Foremost, if you were one of the people online who believed for a single second that it was even a remote possibility that I simply made up a French assassination attempt heading into Thanksgiving week, I don't know, for like attention or something, a claim which has gone viral. When I say viral, I mean just the tweet alone had over 100,000 retweets and 45 million impressions on X alone. This was front page global news from the United States to Russia. It's now been a full week since I made that announcement. And here is the official response issued by the Élysée Palace. Nothing. And I publicly challenged the Candace is making everything up crowd to prove it. Press the White House for a response, right? The White House the ball is very firmly in their court. And a week later, this is the official White House response. So what's the issue here? Why is no one coming out and telling you that that's completely baseless? I cannot present to you a fact, and you can't present to me not a fact. Okay, so we're both. I'm speculating, and you're saying it's not.
Candace not understanding how making a claim works.
True. You saying it's not true could be a lie.
Okay, well, I didn't say it wasn't true.
You can't prove it's not true, and I can't prove it's true.
Okay, you are admitting that
it's on you. It's on my opinion. It's
you made the claim. It's on me.
That's what I'm saying. When you're making a claim, if somebody starts, I had a lawsuit, somebody starts making up shit about, say, oh, you murdered this person, or you're a rapist, you're a pedophile, you're the one making the accusation. Like the prosecution, you have to provide a basis, evidence for your claims. As far as I know, she's provided none of that, and people just keep running with it and just like whatever. I don't agree with her with this whole. I watched her all, I watched her here and there. I've always somewhat liked her, but with this Charlie Kirk stuff, to me, she's just off the rails. Off the rails with it, in my opinion, man. And how much further is it gonna go? And people are just like, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like how further, how many more people are in this conspiracy? How many countries, how many peoples are in on this?
Turning Point says they're going to do a live.
Candace Owens again today to say that nothing in Charlie Kirk's life was real. She's been saying this for over 3 months.
I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. Realizing that nothing in Charlie's life was real. It's just something that keeps me up at night. Just nothing in his life was real. Charlie Kirk, that's what I say. Was anything in his life real? Nothing in Charlie Kirk's life was real. I don't
know what that means. What she's talking about. I don't know. Is she talking about his friends, the business? Like, I don't know what she means by that. This was kind of funny to me that when Tim Pool said that she's turned podcasting into Lost. Lost is just, I love that show. It's probably not for everybody. Really long show, so many seasons.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mega Rift. Now, you've got Nick Fuentes calling out Candace Owens. The story is that Turning Point USA issued a rebuttal to everything Candace says. Likely, this was triggered by Candace calling on people to ask for refunds of their donations to Turning Point USA, which is probably apocalyptic for Turning Point USA and can very much destroy Turning Point. They apparently offered for her to come on the show. She agreed. And then when they said, okay, here's where we're doing it, she responded with, kind of weird how you didn't email or call me to ask about times or availability, and chose instead to tweet this confirmation out at midnight. Nick Fuentes responds, you were invited to Turning Point USA HQ to press their leadership live and in person about their role in Charlie Kirk's murder, but you can't go because of a scheduling conflict. LOL. Mm-hmm. Isn't this what you've been pushing for since September? Time to put up or shut up. Candace says, you spent over a year attacking me on your show. I finally said, okay, come on my show. You responded and said Wednesday worked better for your schedule. Stop being a fraud. If I'd instead publicly tweeted Nick refused to debate, I would have been disingenuous. Nick said, you said TPUSA could pick the time and place they did. You've been milking your investigation for 3 months. Now is your opportunity to blow the lid on everything, and you're going to no-show. What could possibly be the excuse? You owe it to your fans. The excuse is she was always lying, right? One of the things that Turning Point brought up was that early on in her investigation, she made a point about men in maroon shirts and then dropped that and moved on and never brought it back up. Or Egyptian planes flying around, which is never proven. She then made claims that these planes were landing at airports where federal vehicles were driving to a law office, and she vetted the person but never proved anything about what these planes were actually doing. Then it turns out her own lawyers are working in the same building as the feds. But people love the drama, the true crime, and the mystery. You know what she's really done? She has turned news podcasting into Lost. Always end your show on a cliffhanger, never resolve it, and keep people hooked. It is the mystery box of podcasts. And now that she's given the opportunity to go and put the nail in the coffin, she can't do it.
Charlie. I should clip that intro. Charlie. Lost. An episode of Lost. But you know, man, everybody's talking about her. I mean, she's already popular, but everybody's talking about her. So, I mean, maybe this benefits her, I guess, obviously. So let me be fair, too. So Candace Owens, they're saying, roasted
and it's
Tim
because
Pool.
she's a piece of shit. Because instead of saying, guys, let's come together and figure out how to work together, she says the stupidest, retarded crap. And now everybody's running around divided and broken. For what reason? For literally what reason?
Because they killed Charlie Kirk in broad daylight, and we don't care about your stupid midterms. We just don't care. Like, they really this is how they view Charlie Kirk. That's what I say. Was anything in his life real? Tim Pool is going off right now because he's like, it's not the time. You guys need to be mules. You need to keep voting in the very corrupt people that are lying to your faces right now about what happened to Charlie Kirk. It is not the time because it is your job to get people into office. This is what I mean when I suggest that nothing in Charlie Kirk's life was real. So he really thinks he's doing something there. And actually what he's doing is proving my point. These people just saw Charlie as a means to an end, okay? As a political horse that they could ride. And so for whatever reason, they got tired riding him. And now they're angry because they also were going to whip the horse, the ghost of Charlie Kirk, and say, we still need you to shore up votes. And it is inconvenient that people who actually cared about Charlie and saw him as a, I don't know, human being, want to know why he was publicly executed in front of us and why we're being lied to about everything. That is why Tim Pool is upset, because midterms, it's going to be my fault, not the fault of the feds for feeding us BS. It's not going to be the fault of Turning Point USA for lying and thinking that they're brighter than us and seemingly not caring about the investigation. It's not going to be the fault of, I don't know, maybe actual politicians like Donald Trump, who's a president of the United States, and look us in the face and said, are we still talking about the Epstein files? No, that's not his fault. The fault is Candace Owens for wanting to figure out who murdered her friend. Don't you guys get it? Like, we're just an algorithm. Why do you care so much about humans? Like, why are you?
What the hell? What is going on, yo? This
like
is
human. Like, if somebody in your family dies, you need to focus on midterms. Okay? That is the point of a Tim Pool show. It doesn't matter what you are going through at home. I want you guys to hear this, okay? I don't care if you have family members that are dying, family members who have died, if you have children that you care about and you maybe don't want to live in a world that's run by pedophiles. You need to put that all aside and vote for whoever the hell Tim Pool tells you to vote for. I just want to platform that idea. I think obviously there's something wrong with me, and Tim Pool's got it.
I guess she's saying he's like a mouthpiece. I think some of these people do get paid. I don't know to what level from some of these people to talk about them and whatever. It's crazy, man. The whole situation's nuts. Everybody's beefing. Right-wing civil war. Even Laura Loomer's having... Well, I think Laura Loomer... All these people like Tim Pool and Nick. Nick has had problems with Candace for a while now. And then Laura Loomer, too, made some stuff, too. I'm going to pull that up in a minute. She's beefing with Candace, but I think they've been beefing for a while, too.
In an ultimatum, I don't know, an invitation, gave me 24 hours to respond to a tweet that they sent at midnight. Very strange. Again, everything just seems to be very strange and unnecessary that is coming out of Turning Point USA. We're going to find out. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. I say we do it tomorrow. We don't need to plan for this. We don't need lawyers in between us, lawyer statements. It's not how I roll, okay? I don't care about any of that. I want it to be authentic. Like,
I believe that, Emily. Emily in the chat said, Haim Braverman, New Jersey man, already pled guilty to threatening to kill Candace over her rabbi comments. Felony threats are real. Virtual is safe. I've gotten death threats too, and I had to do a lawsuit before and all that stuff. You know, I don't think that's that. Well, that's not why she's going in person, like because she's worried about her safety. I don't believe that at all.
We are going to discuss that. Plus, I have an amazingly odd update regarding the Egyptian planes. It feels very significant, so we're going to jump back into that storyline. It seems to be the Egyptian planes that they are unnecessarily freaking out about, so that's definitely going to be the key that unlocks it.
I'm surprised how hard Tim was going yesterday, too. He was snapping. They didn't say fuck, but like, this is going crazy. And this is one of the things, people have called this out. So he did post another thing and said, no one hated Charlie Kirk more than Candace Owens. She reviles him. She spits on his grave and smiles while doing it. Candace Owens hated Charlie Kirk, his wife, his friends, and everything he built. But somebody did post like a collage, I guess, or compilation, actually. A compilation of video clips that Candace has posted. And you see pictures and videos of Candace and Charlie Kirk hanging out, dancing, and doing all kinds of stuff like friends.
I think the idea that Charlie would want her to advocate everyone pull their donations from the organization he built.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
No one hates Charlie more than Candace Owens. Let me say that very, very clearly. I want to say it straight to the camera for all of her biggest fans, and then she can grab this clip and put it on her show. I do think it's absolutely hilarious that we're substantially smaller shows than hers, but she brought us up anyway. So thanks for saying my name, Candace. No one hated Charlie Kirk more than Candace Owens. She reviles him, she spits on his grave, and she smiles while doing it. Okay, quote over. And I'll say this because Charlie spent his life building out these organizations. Candace is doing everything in her power to tear them down. She hates Charlie. She hates what Charlie built, and she wants it to burn. She hates Charlie's family. She hates Charlie's friends. She's accused them of killing him. She's accused his wife of having knowledge of these events. And then she comes out and says, I never said that. Not in the literal sense, but there's literally no other logical conclusion to what you're saying. So when I look at Colvett and Bowyer and Blake and Erica and the people who work at Turning Point, and I say, you know, maybe they're not handling things properly and they don't know what to do what Charlie was doing. There's fears that Turning Point can't make it without Charlie. All of that is them trying to make Turning Point survive. Candace is advocating you abandon Turning Point USA. It's kind of remarkable to see, but let's just do the logic here. Simple question for all of you. Throw it in the chat. Who do you think cares more about Turning Point? The people trying to salvage and save it, or the woman telling everybody to pull their donations? Then you can ask yourself this. If Charlie were alive today, what do you think he'd be saying about all of this? Do you think he would say, I don't trust my wife and my best friends to run my organization? Or do you think he'd be saying, Candace should burn down Turning Point USA?
This is an interesting post here, too, that Yal posted. And it says here, you know, it's one of Candace Owens' references where she says, for all you who doubted my claims, you can look to the President of the United States and our intelligence communities to issue a statement to confirm whether I'm telling the truth. And that's what happened with Cam Higbee. He went and asked the lady, and she's like, I don't know, what the hell are you talking about? You know, maybe the U.S. is in on it. Maybe the intelligence agency is in on it. Oh, poor Tim, too, man. But Tim, I don't know if, I'm sure you guys have probably heard. I guess Trump called him the R word. And now Tim's saying that he's getting people driving by his house saying the R word. And so he's concerned about his safety. Pretty wild stuff.
True. This creates danger. And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people.
Wow. Just shouting it out.
This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it. So look, I'm worried. We know how these things go. They start with taunts, they turn to violence. So deeply concerned. True. This creates danger.
Yeah.
Guy in that same post you mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find ineffective or retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with it. Absolutely. You have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with it. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into the state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz. Governor Walz asked you to police the...
Damn. I mean, I don't know, when we were kids, we used to say it all the time, and nobody thought of it as offensive. We didn't take it in that way, you know, but I guess times have changed. We used to say, call people gay all the time, too. Man, that's gay. You gay, man. You're being so gay. But it wasn't like that, you know. And they're saying Mayor Jacob Frey, I guess they caught him scarfing down some Somalian food, and people were claiming that he looked like he was going to throw up. I'm not sure, though. It's kind of hard to tell. But I know he has to finish that bowl of food, or else it's considered probably disrespectful. Wow. Wow. Somalian food. I think Pete Hegseth too. I don't know. He was taking heat about there was claims that there were some survivors and people hanging off a boat and that they shot and killed him anyway. That was another boat that got shot. Benny Johnson. I guess that's. Oh yeah, let me show the Laura Loomer, just a snippet. But there's a whole bunch of back and forth and beef going on and fallout and people upset with each other. The right has collapsed. Not really, but Candace Owens, real Candace, is such a pathological liar. She's now lying about me on her show, saying I have psychiatric issues and that I'm crazy and that I shouldn't be allowed to have a Pentagon press credentials. This is a woman who lied and said the French government tried to assassinate her. It's quite rich for Candace, of all people, to be calling me crazy. Every day she has a schizophrenic delusions about who in her mind killed Charlie Kirk because she is so jealous that Charlie Kirk chose Erica over her. What? It's reaching. I think it's obvious to everyone that Candace Owens is trying to burn TPUSA down because Charlie Kirk didn't want to marry her. Now Candace is left being married to a foreigner who allegedly tried to make out with whoever this is, Raheem Kassam. Another guy. What? Candace Raheem says her husband, George, grabbed Raheem's penis at some event and tried to make out with him. Damn. Care to comment? Are you married to a gay man? Do you wish you could have married Charlie instead? Are you trying to burn down his legacy so Miss Kirk can't carry it on? Is that your way of getting out of your revenge for Charlie Kirk not choosing you? Unlike you, Candace, I actually deal in truth. You are a complete liar, and you should stop defaming me on your show so you can feel better about yourself. Charlie isn't ever going to choose you. He didn't choose you when he was on Earth, and he won't choose you in the afterlife either, because you're going to hell, woman. Everyone finds you to be totally crazy. And if you had a husband who actually loved you, who wasn't busy allegedly grabbing Raheem's cock, he probably would have taken your phone away by now. He'd at least be paying your legal fees so you don't have to sell your crappy merch. Hopefully you'll respond to Raheem one of these days. What the hell? This from 2022. Why would Candace marry someone who is pretending? Doesn't seem like her. However, I trust you more than her after she bashed President Trump and stabbed him in the back. Yes, I wonder why the perennial grifter Candace Owens would want to marry into the family of wealthy British lord. Very difficult to figure out. Man, this guy said he was sexually assaulted. Wow. I don't know if it's true. That's the claims he's making, but this is all just messy. Messy drama, seems like. Lord. Raheem's cock. Some people are saying this is all part of the game. Some people are saying this is just for everybody to come up, create some beef, some back and forth. Everybody's winning. Subscribers. Well, except Cam. Cam Higbee said he's losing a lot of subscribers, I guess. I guess he's just collateral damage, maybe. Let's see, anything else on this? I think that might be it. I just kind of wanted to... I've been following the story a little bit. I would like for her even to go on a virtual thing so they can address it. It would get a lot of views. A lot of people would tune in. They could both live stream at the same time. The only problem I'd worry about is a mediator, like somebody that's going to let people talk, don't let the over talking happen, give people their time to speak and respond. Yeah, I guess that's it. So crazy. Oh, you want to see this crazy clip of this woman? Let's look at this real quick. I was going to do it for the clips, but we'll watch this real quick. Watch this.
Was going to tell him that I wanted a divorce. I texted my therapist, our marriage counselor, and I was like, I need to tell him that I want a divorce, but I want to do it in a session so that there's like a mediator present. Got us in like ASAP, like 2 days later. And I walked in knowing that I was going to ask for a divorce. We sit down in our session. It's like really tense, really awkward. My ex was sitting there like, so why do we have an emergency session? Therapist was like, Jamie, do you want to start? And I just started crying and I was like, I want a divorce. You know, it's hard for me to like say the words. I'm done. I want a divorce. He sat there quiet. I'm sitting next to him crying. He didn't move. He didn't look at me. He didn't react at all. He just was stone cold. And eventually our therapist was like, would you like to respond? He responded right away and he's like, fine, let's just go ahead and finalize the details. And that was that. I looked at my therapist and I was just like kind of stunned. I knew that I was ready to leave, but I couldn't believe that that was his reaction. There was no empathy. There was no compassion. There was no like wanting to fight for us. I didn't think that there would be, but you know, you just always hope that like one last try. We went home that night. We didn't speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day, came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday? And he was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And
you wanted a divorce. Okay, no problem. Why are you bothering me?
He's like, what's to talk about? In my mind, I'm thinking, this is our last ditch effort to like steer this ship around, you know? And I was like, so what are we gonna do? And he just kept playing and he was like, I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things within that 24 hours. He had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all this shit done.
Yeah, you wanted a divorce. He obliged. Okay, no problem. She wanted a whole reaction, him crying. No, please don't go begging. I'll do whatever you want. Okay, no problem. Anyway, I'm going to go live soon on the main page. I'm setting up another live stream. We're going to do some updates. Probably like in, let me see, what time is this happening? In 20 minutes. Well, like in 20 minutes then. About 20 minutes. I'm going to set up a live on iCkEdMeL YouTube. All right. But I appreciate you guys. Oh, Rumble. We got some people on Rumble. Let me see what the Rumble people are saying. They said Team Candace. Got 300 people there. Tampon Tim. I should have did a poll on Rumble. Charlie started to question Israel over USA. Ended up dead. All right. I'll be back. All right.